Hey, good evening, everybody. Or at least it's evening where I am right now. We're going to get our PowerPoint going here, and we're going to take a peek at the third portion of the understanding the acceleration process. And as we do that, with just a little bit of background, we have looked at part one involved block setup and reaction to the gun and technique through the first step. Part two has been step two through transition to full running height out of a 4.2 tall running height. And then step three tonight is going to be just looking at some drills and block drills that are going to help. You're going to see a variety of positions here. There's going from 2-point to 3-point to 4-point starts. Remember, any of them can be adapted to any of the start positions. Also, a couple things to keep in mind are with this particular athlete is that we're looking when they're coming out of a great explosive start. There's a straight line right from ankle through the hip through the ear. We like the knee to come as high as possible. Again, the higher the knee comes, the more force is being put down. We want the toe cocked up, and then something to watch also with the athletes is that knee and the toe will be in the same plane. You're going to see countless examples of big arm techniques there as well. I want to talk about one more concept here, and this is called Shin Angle, and this is something for you to watch when you're doing any video review or even watching your athletes come out of the blocks. When I look at this drawing, it's just meant to recognize the fact that this would be the shoe in contact with the ground, and this would be the shin bone. And if we measure this angle, just keep in mind that the smaller the angle, the better explosive start it is. The calf muscles engaged in the process, but we want to be as short as we possibly can, or as small angle and as explosive as we possibly can get. All right, first things first, is that we're going to be watching a lunge walk with a toe drag. If you're listening on this one, it can that shoe is kind of catching a little bit of surface. Know that we're coming through, and then notice the athlete's attempting to keep the knee and the toe in the same plane here. His arms are wide, and he's mostly just grooving that heel action as he sweeps below the knee. He's following the straight line path to a high knee position. This next drill is a super simple one. It can be done at all levels. Keep in mind this is a college All-American here, and it's a single leg march. And what he's working on is the knees coming up, and he's finding that sweet spot, which is where the force application happens, and it's right underneath his hip, the center of mass. If he was wearing a big gaudy belt buckle, it would be right underneath the belt buckle. Many athletes they think they're putting their foot down right underneath, but they're actually 6 to 8 inches ahead. We'll take a look at a little bit different collection of drills that you've seen before, some variations, and we'll just talk as we go. This is one in A march where he puts, instead of a single leg, it's a double leg exercise. And then again, we're getting more turnover. The knees are coming up super high. In a moment, you're going to be seeing a quicker drill, I guess, is the same concepts are there, but the turnover changes. We're going to call that a low A, and the heel steps over basically it's a sock line. Same basic concepts, a different way of doing it, same foot placement, and you're turning up the tempo here. A relaxed A, some call this a skipping A. It's an opportunity on that hippity hop to bring that knee up high, and then it's going to impact with more force. And when you strike the ground, it's going to pop you back up into that start position. You've got a pretty good idea that those were A drills because the heels were tucked underneath. He's changing over now, and he's allowing that knee or the toe to come ahead of the knee a little bit. He's reaching back. If we were doing this on the beach, you'd be sending some sand out from the backside there. And again, there's some backward impulsion. It's a way to catch the ground and project yourself forward. Very valuable drill. Generally, you master the A's before you do too many B's here. And you can see there's a relaxed B skip, and this is a fairly complex skill. Something to be added a little later in the season. Again, feel free to review these, go back over them with the labels. We're getting some motion drills here that involve the real deal of acceleration. This one's called 4-second count. 1, 2, 3, and on about the third and fourth second, he tips forward at the ankles, lowers the shin angle. When he loses his balance, he drives the knee high, drives the heel below the support knee, and you can see the arm action is big here. Foot placement is going to be below and actually behind the hip when you're driving. A slightly different drill is a 4 bounce and go, and what we're doing, it's the same basic concept, but on bounce number 3 and bounce number 4, it's a chance for you to prepare, and the athlete tips forward. As they tip forward, it lowers the shin angle, and we get more firepower out of the start. One of the really important concepts from this elite sprinter is that he brings his knee high, but that lower leg stays tucked in. And so that we are ramming and jamming that foot into the surface. And when it catches either behind or underneath his hip, then we're going to be really, we're going to be moving him down the track at the most optimum speed possible. I wanted to throw this one at you as well, that we're doing some standard warm-up drills, but we are driving. It's a chance for him to do sprinting A's and get the good posture, and then as he tips forward, there's very little technique or very little tempo difference as he rolls it forward. Okay, so sprinting A's in place and go. These are great warm-ups after the drilling, and again, when you take off and turn that transition from a drill into a sprint, that really helps them experience what they need to be doing. We'll take a look at the next one here. And this is just some chase drills. We're using, again, here starting blocks, but this can easily be done on the ground without the blocks in 4-point. What we're looking at here, though, is a way for coaches to separate their athletes so they can get a look at what's going on. But in every sprinter's life, they're going to get a lousy gun reaction, and they're going to be the person coming from behind. And it is kind of fun for athletes to get a chance to be free and clear in first and get a sense on what the rare air looks like or feels like when they're out there. Got a couple different opportunities to look at this. Things you're noticing with this, again, is the knees are high and they're driving those heels back underneath. I'm going to show 2 videos at once here. Well, folks, I'm going to run them both, but we'll look at the one on the left, and this is a 1-step drill as he drives his knee up. This can be done also with bands. But notice we're just working on grooving that heel as it sweeps well below the knee, and it comes up as absolutely as high as we can get it in that high knee position. This is every single rep. He's experiencing exactly what we're hoping for. We're going to take a look at this. Both of these athletes, this one is from LSU and this one's from Minnesota State Mankato. These drills aren't too simple for these stars, so again, there's great value for the program I'm sure that you're in. As you're looking at this one, we're practicing that first step, and it's push, push, push. If you bother to count, I think we're going to get to about 10 steps, and notice that he's not at full running height till about the 10th step. So it's an opportunity for them to really get that concept of pushing and driving on the initial aspects of acceleration. The longer the acceleration phase, the faster they're going to be. This is a drill I want to just throw out there. Just a warning: when your athletes are going, at the level they're at, they're going to have a hard time kind of balancing on top of the block. I would do something else really quickly. This drill has got value, but if the athlete is just a little bit off on balance and they're having trouble with this, there's countless drills that you could do that would be a better use of your time. But notice that he's balancing on the top of the block, tipping forward like that 4-second hold, and then also notice the big charge he's getting off of the back pedal and the front pedal as well. You're going to see this arm action really going. fall. Time to get the knee through. Big arm projection. And wham. This drill is going to look, it's called just run drags. This one is working on the cycling action coming out of the blocks. This looks a lot like walking lunges, but we're going to be doing it with more of a bound. Heels sweep below. Notice on this one that the athlete is attempting to keep that heel tucked underneath a little bit. But notice the big arm action on this one as he sweeps back, and he's bringing those feet to the perfect landing spot directly underneath and a little bit behind his hips. And again, the power that he's getting out of those. Couple drills with a little bit of basic equipment. Just as you see right here, we've got the front leg, and we've been talking about what that has to do. This is a focused drill on what the back foot is supposed to do. This can be done easily, again, not in the starting blocks. Coach has just got a PVC pipe and is slightly resting on the back of his heel. In a perfect world, a sprinter is probably getting about 80% of their start from their front leg, and they're getting about 20% from their back leg. And if in that particular situation, if my salary, if I could get about 20% more salary, I'd do about whatever it took to get it. And as we watch this is a point of focus for that back leg action to do a better job on that back 20%. You can see it's just light pressure, and he can feel that concept of popping back and sweeping that heel below the support knee. Great extension coming out of there. Going to look at something that's got a little bit of even cheaper equipment than the last one, and that's just called a kickstart. We've taken a piece of paper and wadded it up. Now remember, the idea on this one, you can kind of see how this one's going to go. The idea is not to kick this thing down the track. It's just meant to, the path of a foot that's going to sweep below the knee is going to dislodge and move that piece of paper. How far doesn't really matter. What we're looking for is just that it's an opportunity to sweep that foot through low. If they're picking their foot up and cycling too high, they're going to probably miss that piece of paper. We've got a couple slides left here, and I just wanted to remind you of a couple things. One of them is just that drills really don't do the teaching. The coach is the one that does the teaching. So finding drill to teach your point, you could use these drills in lots of different ways. You need to allow for individualization. Everybody is a little bit different. There's no perfect way to sprint or accelerate. People all different shapes and sizes have amazing results. And it really is, there's lots of ways to do this. The science remains the same, but just biomechanical metrics of the whole thing. There's lots of variants of very successful people, and make sure to kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that athletes are warmed up for these drills that we've looked at. These aren't the warm-up drill. These are meant to be done after they're warmed up. I would also remind you that quality repetition are what are going to make a difference in the long run here. And when the quality breaks down, it's really time to do something else. It really is. You can come back to it another time, but quality or nothing. You are the CEO. You're the one that's going to find the solutions, and you're noticing some issues, and you're going to be the one to find some solutions as well. As we wrap up here, I just want to make sure that we're not, it's not sounding like Rob Graham is making up all of this stuff. I've been lucky enough to hear many of these guys in person and speak with many coaches that are on the list here that have come up with some great ideas too. I throw this out there as a place for you to go, and I bet if you look at these same resources, you're going to come up with some pretty good ideas that maybe I can borrow down the line too. Well, listen, thank you for being here with us tonight, and I am so grateful. Hope you find this useful, and we'll see you at the track. Thanks.